All right, this is going to be kind of like a study guide as far as what you can expect to see on the test for Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. So for Test 1, for test review, Part 1 is simply going to be multiple choice, short answer questions. I would suggest going over and reviewing the reading quiz to study for this part of the test. It is closed book. It is closed notes. There are 22 questions on this part. It is worth 20 points of your total test grade. For part 2, this is the exercise or that math portion of the test. It is worth 80 points of the test. So part 1 is 20 points, part 2 is 80 points. That's your full 100 points as far as the test goes. The first question that you're going to have on part 2 of the test is you will be given transactions. Just like you were given transactions for your journal entry quiz, you're going to be given transactions. You will have to then go in and prepare the journal entries. You can use a table to actually put these journal entries in. You do need to review the PDF that I have on how to create tables and charts in Blackboard to be able to use a table or a chart. You don't have to use a table or chart. You can use the table or chart if you want everything to not line up nice and neatly. However, the second question that you will have you're going to be given journal entries, and you're going to have to post those to T accounts. So when you see question 2, there's nothing that you're really going to do on question 2 in Blackboard. All right, that is just the question. On a separate sheet of paper, you're going to go in and you are going to actually post to those T accounts. All right, so you're going to create T accounts. You're going to post to those T accounts on a separate sheet of paper. You are not going to input anything on 2. Question 2 is only the question. The answers and what you're going to have to do with those T accounts is, I believe, question 3 through 9. You're going to have to answer questions about the balances. Like one question could be, what was the balance on the debit side of this account? What was the credit balance on this side of the account? And then it could be, okay, what was the balance in the accounts receivable account? And you would have to go in and put that dollar amount that you got on your paper in on questions 3 through 9. That is how I'm going to grade whether or not you know how to post to T accounts. The last question that you're going to have is you're actually going to be given a T account. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to balance those accounts, figure out if it's a debit or a credit balance, and then you're going to have to prepare a trial balance. Now the T accounts look a little funny. What I'm showing you right here is really what you're going to be looking at as far as those T accounts go. There was no real good way for me to make a T account in the Blackboard. So what I did is I've created the account. It lists out, it says like cash on it. On this side, you would have your debits. This side, you would have your credits. And what they have is they have little slashy lines in between them. So if there is an amount on the left side of the slashy line, that means it's a debit. If it's on the right side of the slashy line, that means it's a credit. So if I were going through and I wanted to balance out this particular account, what I would do is I would come down and I would balance And like I said, just kind of assume that that's kind of going down like that. I would balance the debit side at $3,000, and then I would look at the credit side, and that credit side would be at $1,600. And so then what I would have to do is look at the two, compare them, and come up with, is it a debit or is it a credit balance? In this case, it is going to be a credit balance because $3,000 is more than $1,600. So what I would do here is I would take that $3,000 minus that $1,600, and I would come up with $1,400, and so that would be the balance. This is the amount that would go on the trial balance. All right? So when you are looking at a trial balance, what you should be doing is you should be listing all of the accounts that are listed in that ledger or on those T accounts. You're going to have to balance out if they're a debit or a credit. In this case, it would be $1,400. This is the correct way to do this. All right? Now, if I see this is going to be the incorrect way, okay? You would not have a debit for $3,000 and a credit for $1,600, okay? This is completely wrong. That is not right. That is not what we do, okay? If you put that on your paper, it will be counted wrong. Every account has to have either a debit balance or a credit balance. It cannot have both. So this is not right. It's incorrect. What you need to be looking at is you need to be looking at the fact that this right here is what we are doing, okay? So we are, and I've kind of got it highlighted, and I'll go back over it again. What we're looking at is that you have to have it done this way, all right? That is the correct way of doing it. Just having the total debit balance, all right? So that's just a little bit about what you're going to see on your test. So make sure you review. Make sure you know how to do a journal entry. Make sure you know how to post to those T accounts, and make sure you know how to take a T account and create the trial balance from that. And those are the items that are going to be on part 2 of this test.